Yes, we are live. I don't remember what
216.
216, right?
Yeah.
This is too much. This is too much to remember. It's the 216th episode of the Mina's House podcast. I'm Mina SayWhat.
I'm Shana B.
I'm Dexter Stuckey.
Yeah, what was that about, Shana? Did you forget your name or did you mean to do it that way?
I'm tired. It's been a lot of Zooms today.
I feel the same way. I am zoomed out today.
My mom just said, "You about to get on another Zoom?" I was like, "I know. I'm the caretaker taking care of her. I've been on the computer all day."
You ain't taking care of nothing, girl.
But these Zoom calls.
Your mom could have fell off the bed downstairs and you didn't even know. Oh, guys, what a week, man. So it's spring.
Definitely spring.
I can't even believe it's spring already. I feel like life went really slow and then now it's going really fast.
Yeah, January is here for quite some time. And now we're already in basically April.
We are in April. I went to do something yesterday and I was like, "Oh, just let me know about this date in April." And I'm like, yo, that's like right around the corner.
Yep. I'm supposed to be going to Greece, y'all, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
You're going to make it. You're going to make it. We're going to speak it to existence. You will be in Greece.
Yes. I just feel like all my trips since the pandemic started, they're all like cursed. Like I have them, like scheduled and then some freak thing happens, like the world shuts down and then I don't get to go.
Well, Dex would say that's because you need to travel with me because per Dex, I just spent the whole pandemic traveling.
Well, look, the pandemic hit and the next day Shana was like, well, I had this trip planned. I got to go.
Flights was cheap in the pandemic, so. Yeah.
I pushed back all my trips, so now I'm trying to go, but it's like, yeah, it's one thing after another. But we made the trip to Florida to Orlando, so that's down. Yeah. So hopefully the Greece trip will happen, and then that's the last one for the year. So let's hop into what's in our feed because there's a lot going on. I can't believe Megan Thee Stallion still having issues with her main label, right? So she is signed to Roc Nation. I think people get it confused. They're like, well, isn't she signed to Roc Nation? Roc Nation is her management, right?
Right.
So as her label, she still is signed to Carl Crawford. I always mess up his name. His label 1501. Remember when she tried to drop Good News? Remember he tried to stop it via the courts? Yeah. And then she sued and she got, by this time, Roc Nation was her management team. So they sued and they got a judge approved for her to drop the album. So now recently she dropped something for the Hotties. And I guess according to her contractual agreement with 1501, that was supposed to be the final album, on the label. But now 1501 is saying that that's not an album, that it was a mixtape. So she sued saying, hey, I'm done with my contract. Let me out. And they're countersuing saying that was a little ass mixtape. Okay. You had skits on there. You had old music. You still owe us some music. So you're not out of this contract. Then they were going back and forth on social media. Megan called Carl a powderhead. Powderhead said she's a drunk. This is messy. Is any of this admissible in court? because this is like the lawsuit that plays out on social media, kind of very similar to the Tory Lanez thing. What I wanted to talk about what an album is, because that's what I think is at the core of this. As an artist, how do you avoid this kind of confrontation with your label when there's no real parameters regarding what an album is anymore?
Right. Yeah. I think she should talk to Chris Brown and Kanye West, and they can tell her what an album is. You got to do 47 songs, and then, then that's an album.
You got to have 8 hours of music.
Yeah.
Wake up, the album's still going on.
You have to have 5 deluxe versions, different features on the deluxe. But think about it. We don't know what an album is anymore. How do you even win this lawsuit?
You said, they said, oh, or not, you're saying they said, but in the lawsuit, they said, oh, she has skits. I'm like, so when did albums not have skits? Like,
hello, remember back in the day?
Like that was our favorite. That was like our favorite part of the College Dropout, the skits. Like we love the skits on there. Like,
no way, DMX used to bark all over the skits, and I would rewind. Like those are my favorite things.
Albums have always had skits. I just hate that they use that as a reason. Like, oh, it can't be a real album because you got skits on there. Jasmine Sullivan has hotels where these sales are in between. Like, how do you use that as an argument? I think you struck the nail on the head. There is no such thing as the album versus it used to be like, oh, they're gonna drop the EP and they're gonna drop this. I guess the only thing I can think they're saying is like a mixtape used to be without a label, like not necessarily like the label back. And I guess they're trying to be technical, like, well, she put the music out, but it wasn't by the label kind of thing. And that's the only thing I can see that I don't agree with it.
She said they signed off on it. She said somebody from his team signed off on it. I have a question though, and excuse my ignorance here. Is this the same Carl Crawford who was a baseball player?
Yes.
The baby with Evelyn was like, that man gets
same
around.
Carl, same Carl. Yeah.
I'm like, wait a second. How he got the same name as this other dude?
No, that's Evelyn's ex-man. Yeah.
He played for the Texans. Is that the baseball team, Texans?
He was
Houston Texans.
But he was also played for the Dodgers too. I know him from the Dodgers.
Yeah, so Garnett just woke up from his nap.
And he's in the closet.
He's trapped in the closet. He's coming out the closet.
No backgrounds, no nothing today. He said, "I'm here."
Yeah, it was too late to put up my green screen.
His background was the R. Kelly thing. Like that's where he's at.
So Garnett, the argument,
that was a whole skit album,
right? Right. Garnett, the argument is Megan believes she's completed her contractual agreement to 1501 because she dropped something for the hotties. Carl Crawford and 1501 are saying that last album was a mixtape. It wasn't no damn album. He said there was old music on there. There were skits on there. So I guess like it really is going to come down to what is considered an album. And is that something that a judge who like knows nothing about the music industry can even like really come to an agreement on? And like, I'm looking at the track list. Mm-hmm. There's 21 songs. There's 21 things on this. Now, some of them are skits and some of them are freestyles. You know, there is an interlude. You know, there's a couple of freestyles on here, but there's 21 things on this. So this looks like this looks like a album to me. But what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, so she's not the only one that goes through this, but that's why contracts mean so much. And reading them and understanding them and know exactly what's going on. So going back to what Shana was saying with the label, they can literally like pick and choose like which ones they're going to accept as your final album because you're in contract. So like when it comes down to that final album, they want to have everything to do with the promotion. They want to have everything to do with the songs that's picked. And whatever's in that contract, they don't have to necessarily accept what she did on her own per se. And a lot of this is me speculating, but also
I was gonna say, contract law attorney, music attorney Garnett.
somebody that actually like speaks very like wisely about this stuff is DJ Academics. Whenever somebody's going through some contractual stuff, he actually just like puts a lot of stuff out there that makes sense, and he's closer to the music industry than I am. But he speaks on things like this where, that last album, if they don't have anything to do with it per se, yeah, you can drop it, but they don't have to accept it.
That's y'all friend, DJ Academics. Y'all like him?
That's not my friend. I'm surprised you said wise and academics.
I hate that man so much. And I think everything he says is
I was
wrong.
like, DJ Academics wise? What?
Per Garnett, I'm looking up. I had to Google what's the difference between a mixtape and an album. That's basically what it's saying was deemed as basically label push is deemed an album where it's more artist push and they have the more freedom to pick the songs and there's not promotion behind is deemed a mixtape. And then it basically brought out some famous mixtapes, Drake So Far Gone, Kanye West, Get Well Soon, Chance the Rapper, Acid Rapid, Nicki Minaj, Beam Me Up Scotty, which I don't think I realized was a mixtape.
Oh, how didn't you? That's why Nicki said, which, made $1 million off a mixtape.
I
like,
know, but I don't be listening to Nicki that much. Jay-Z, the S. Carter.
Was that a shot? Wait a minute, Shayna. Don't do that.
It wasn't. Because I didn't mean for it to be shady, but that was just the truth.
But overall though, like mixtape, like the ones that you're naming, like the Drake one, the Nicki one, like those were mixtapes. They were a big deal, and when they put them out there, they knew exactly what that was. I genuinely feel like Megan thought that when she signed to put this out, she thought they were releasing it as an album. Now, I will say, with Messy Megan, I think she needs to take this to the courtroom and get off of social media with it. Like why do you want to argue with everybody on social media? Remember a couple months ago, we were talking about Messy Megan on the podcast, and we were saying her and Patterson were having issues because she's mean. Well, whoever said that wasn't lying. This girl is a mean girl. Like, you always in some mess.
First of all, we don't call her Messy Megan.
I call her Messy Megan.
You call her that.
I think that's part of the culture that people, which I am tired of, that people got to argue their lawsuits out in the court of public law. What? Like, I'm over it.
And y'all out there calling
each other, that's for everybody.
And y'all out there calling each other alcoholics and cokeheads. Like, y'all are creating bigger issues, law issues than this. Like, that's defamation of character on both parts. Like, just stop.
Like, who gonna be sitting in court and they're gonna be like, the lawyer gonna be like, Exhibit A posted on the platform Instagram. You are like, who wants to do that?
It's embarrassing.
Well, that was my initial thing. Like, I even said that on air. Like, can we keep this off of social media? Because her calling him a powderhead is not going to help her in court. If anything, you're right. It is kind of slanderous. I just think that she's getting attacked from all different ways. And I think Megan is reaching her breaking point where it's like, you people keep talking about me, keep talking about Tory, keep talking about I'm lying about getting shot. You keep talking about, my music, or it's like everybody has a breaking point, and she's kind of having like maybe the start of a Kanye moment where she's like, I'm going to go off on everybody on social media because I'm over y'all.
Maybe she should go off on a song. Like, put some songs out, because I hear more about Messy Megan's lawsuits than I hear about music. Like, when was the last time she
don't do that? She dropped a song with Dua Lipa.
I'm saying we hear because she can't release the song because they gonna be like, add that to the mixtape file.
Okay, well, put that on the mixtape then. Just getting people on the album. Just like, for me, I'm like, look, if they want to keep going back and forth, just sit down, have somebody from Rock Nation sit down with them and say, look, she's gonna do this, this, and this, and we're gonna call it quits, and we done with this. We're not about to have our artists out. Megan Thee Stallion is a big artist. We're not about to have our artists out here looking crazy on social media, going back and forth with you, Carl Crawford. Like, let's just get this done. And that's it. Like, the back and forth stuff, it's got to stop. And Carl, you're a 40-year-old man with kids. I want this to stop.
Well, I think it's a pride thing. Like, at this point,
it ain't that much
he
pride.
Doesn't want to give them the money and the promotion and the way. It's like you said, y'all want to humble yourselves. Come to, if you want to get out of this contract, you're going to have to give. And you're going to have to give to let them be able to promote it. I understand y'all don't like each other. The whole world understands y'all don't like each other. But do what you got to do to get out of this contract, and then you can move on.
You know what, though? I think this is a ploy by Carl to keep her signed to him. I mean, I think he has this thing where, okay, I found you, I get to keep you, kind of this weird ownership over her. Like, you're allowed to treat her like crap. You're allowed to, try to execute this crap contract that you gave her, right? In like a play to just be like, I found you, I keep you kind of thing. Because it's like, when she tried to drop good news, he tried to stop it. Mm-hmm. Now she dropped something for the hotties, and now you're trying to say that's not an album. It's like, and Megan said this, you claim you make no money off of me, but you trying to keep me signed to your label. Like, if I was really like dead weight, cut me loose, let me go. But this is a thing where he's trying to keep her to his label. And it's like, bruh, at this point, let it go.
I don't understand why these guys, because this reminds me of the other guy. I can't think of his name, but this guy, he had the record label. And like, the girl was like, she's the best person on the label or whatever. And then like, she tried to move forward or whatever. He keeps talking about her, talking trash about her. Just let it. Oh, it's Irv Gotti and Ashanti. Let the girl go and do her thing. Carl and Irv, like these guys who are obsessed with these women, they won't let them like flourish. Y'all got to stop it. It's too much. And men who argue with women in general, but specifically publicly, like you got to change your panties. Like you can't be doing that. Like it's ridiculous to me.
Well, but that's not mean it's a pride thing. Like it's a pride thing, but I think when Mina just said it probably isn't pride more than it's like possession,
right?
Ownership.
Yeah,
it's pure business, and that's how ugly like that industry can really get. Because
I feel like he wouldn't be doing this to a man though. Like you definitely wouldn't be doing the back and forth and stuff like that on social media with a man.
He definitely would if it was somebody of her caliber as an artist. Because like Mina was saying, no matter what, it still boiled down to the money. He don't want to let her go because he's still getting money off of the.
But you say you're not getting no money off the girl.
Of course he gonna say that out loud, but truth be told, yeah, I'm eating off of your music still. And once you get to the end of this contract, I gotta try to milk everything out of it because eventually you are going to be out of it.
And then money dries up, yeah.
Right. Whether it's because of years or it's because of you actually delivering on that last album. But remind you, this is DJ Academics teachings again. So
oh my goodness,
throw your slander. But but yeah, whether it's years or whether it's albums, they're going to try to fight tooth and nail to at least milk it as much as they can, because what she can do, which is another option, which will be bad for her, right, is if she just don't put out music at all. So she's actually stopping her career if she decides to do that, which he's going to be okay with too. Why? Because he's going to be eating off of the music anyway. So it's kind of like pick your poison. It's a lose-lose situation, but at least if you're still dropping the music, you can eat, I can eat, and then we'll figure it out down the line.
You know what though? I don't understand if you really have like an eye for talent, right? Or an ear for talent. It's like, I don't understand why people like find talent. They put the work in, they blow up, right? I get it, right? So you feel like you have some kind of that you contributed to this great thing, that you helped build this, right? But it's like, if you're really good at spotting talent, you can just go and find somebody else. Like I don't understand why it is that they like try to like hold on to this talent. I mean, okay, it went left. If you were treating the talent correctly, they would want to stay, right? So it's like, let it go. And if you really, you remember Jay-Z said, oh, you made Jay-Z, make another Jay-Z.
Yeah,
right. Hello, like if you made X, Y, and Z because you did X, Y, and Z, go and do that same thing with someone else if you're really that confident in your ability to find talent.
And I believe he has a young girl,
Erica Banks.
Well, yeah. But apparently your system ain't working, Carl.
Erica Banks.
I'm just putting out the facts out there. All right. Well, we'll see how this plays out here. Okay. Kanye West was banned from the Grammys from performing. He's nominated 5 times. They're saying it's because of his antics on social media, which the antics are ridiculous. We've talked about this, but I also think it's ridiculous that the Grammys are banning Kanye West for things that he's doing on social media. Before I comment, I'm curious to what you guys think. Should the Grammys be doing something like this?
Should they? No. But is it smart for them in a sense? Kind of, because that's somebody you can't control. You have no clue what he's about to say whenever he gets on that stage with that many people watching. So, he was on national TV talking about, Bush hate black people. Like, that's a part. He may go as far as saying something else regarding whatever situation he's in. And I think they're just trying to cover their butt for how they're going to look, but also not giving him the stage is going to bring down your ratings a little bit, because Kanye is polarizing. He is a great performer. He is nominated for so many Grammys. And a small part of that, you kind of do want him to go off on a limb, because it's going to be epic. But yeah, they're just super scared of like what's going to be the backlash, because they have no clue what he's going to say when he gets that mic in his hand. So I get it, but I'm always in favor of, let Kanye perform. Whatever happens. If that's the case, don't nominate them. Don't do it. Leave them off, even though that's messed up too. But if you're going as far as not letting them perform because you're not doing that to anybody else, like, you may as well just leave them off.
Was Kanye announced as a Grammy performer?
I think he was, because they announced that they're taking him off.
Because I guess I just haven't followed it at all, so I didn't even see an announcement made about him doing it.
Because it was happening, and then remember it got postponed. So a lot of that buzz was like during Christmas, because it was supposed to be in like January,
February,
and then it got postponed to April because of COVID at the time.
Yeah,
I think that I would have handled this situation a little differently. Like, I think it's their show, and people have always said that, like, this is what they want to do. This is their show. They're going to do what they want to do. I think they could have had a conversation with Kanye's people and said, like, look, we're going to pull the plug on Kanye West. We will no longer be promoting him as a Grammy performer because of what's going on. There's consequences to your actions. And that's really the end of it. But, like, to make this public statement to the world and stuff like that, it's kind of like you're opening yourself up to more scrutiny. And now people are trying to do concerts the night of the Grammy so that people won't watch it. It's supposed to be a Kanye West concert with like Jay Prince and Drake and all of them. And it's kind of like, I would be more intrigued to watch that than to watch the Grammys. And I think that my biggest thing with Kanye West is that people, if you don't like him, if you don't like what he's doing, you should ignore him. And the Grammys ignoring him would be like, I'm gonna let you know, guys. I'm gonna let you know, like, on my own, like on the slide, we're not gonna have you perform. I'm sorry, but the stuff that you've been doing is not gonna work for us. And then just move on with your show. Put Beyonce, because she's about to perform at the Oscars. Put Beyonce at the Grammys or something like that. Like, just replace him. Don't worry about it. But when you make a public statement like that, then you give too many opinions, or you give room for too many opinions. So now this is where they are. And I think what Garnett said, the ratings are gonna suffer because people are gonna feel like you're slighting a Black man, regardless if it's Kanye or not. Like, look how polarizing he is, and how all the ridiculous stuff that he does. People still love him and are still watching his shows and buying his music. There's a reason y'all nominated him too.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I kind of was thinking of the same thing. Like, I think the statement really is what caught me off guard. Like, you're going out of your way to make a statement. A body, organization that's supposed to be focused on the music, is making a statement via this message, this act regarding his, what he's doing on social media. Now, I do think that there are repercussions for people, especially artists, doing, having certain behaviors, but his behavior, it may be morally, morally bothersome to some people, but it's not criminal. He's not hurting someone. He's not doing something illegal. He's not doing something that has mass hurt or offended a group of people. He hasn't marginalized any groups of people, or been slanderous or racially biased or homophobic. It's like, there's so many reasons for why I feel like people do deserve to be taken off of certain platforms. I don't think him struggling with his co-parenting situation and his ex divorcing his wife and her dealing with a new man, I don't think those are reasons for the Grammys to make a statement about what he's doing online.
I agree. Yeah. Especially because before Kanye West, Kim wouldn't have been she wouldn't have even been invited to the Grammys. And I know the people at the Grammys don't give a damn about Pete Davis. So let's be realistic here.
I just think, again, you guys all said it. I think it's just very weird to me for the Grammys to kind of censor an artist when they're about like the music. And again, his online stuff is separate, but the night is about celebrating music and the people that are nominated and their artistry. And that's what the focus should be on. I understand having a conversation with Kanye and his people, like, listen, we're going to leave this to here. I could see maybe intervening and needing to have a conversation because you don't know what he's going to do. But I do think Kanye was probably so focused on the artistry of his performance and making us all want to talk about what was that? Was that weird? Then, like, he might have done something crazy. Like,
I think he would have been petty.
And think about it, like, he might have had Pete hanging up on a noose or something. But I feel like the Grammys would have made it. He said, we need to check his set. Like, if he can agree with these things, we can still let you. And I understand that slightly, because then that's not necessarily like censoring the artist more than you're like, we need to protect what goes on the airwaves. Got it. He might have still said something on his mic. That's what y'all got the little people there, mute it out real fast. But to celebrate music, and again, to have this guy nominated for so many Grammys, and then to say, we can't have you because of your online things that, again, are they right? No, but who are we to judge? We just talked about people who sitting there arguing, calling each other cokeheads, alcoholics, all these kind of things on a platform. But, you know, and again, I'm not coming at Meg. I love Meg. But she calls somebody cokehead. You're not telling her she can't perform at the Grammys.
And that's exactly what I said on air. Like, there are artists doing other things online that are not acceptable. I don't see their performances getting pulled. Again, is what he's doing right? No, I think we've all agreed. Like, we've laughed at it, but we've also said, okay, Kanye, you got to keep this off of social media. But I'm just flabbergasted that they decided to do this over that. And then to your point, Shana, they could have safeguarded if they were really concerned about giving him a platform, because I said this on air, well, maybe they don't want to give him the opportunity to further, you know, make this worse, you know, the platform. They could have said, hey, we're concerned about how, you know, you've been managing what's going on in your personal life. Would you like to pre-record your interview? Your performance? You know, there could have been so many things like, hey, we're not letting you do this live because of X, Y, and Z. If you still want to participate, hey, we can pre-record your performance. And then if he decides to say no, that's the statement. Hi, we're a little concerned regarding, you know, how Kanye was going to use our platform, considering some of the personal things that have been going on in his life. So we wanted to make sure we produce a family-friendly show. So we offered Kanye West the ability to pre-record the show just to avoid any further complications, and he denied. We humbly, you know, like, that's how you do it.
That makes sense. But also, this is the same organization who was pressed to take R. Kelly's Grammys away, and they decided not to do it. So it's like, if you're going to be the moral compass, like, expand that, like, clean up your whole act, like, take his Grammys away. Like, people have been begging you to do that, and you're not doing that. And R. Kelly has done far more worse things than Kanye West has done.
And to speak on, you know, just Kanye, right? It's like an unprecedented situation as well, because, like, who else has been told this? Right. So either way, you're going to get backlash from him, whether it's put in a polite way or a more easier digestible way. It's like, well, when has that been done? Like, how are you just going to mute me when, going back to what Dex is saying, like, you didn't do that to this person. You've never asked them to pre-record because of whatever's going on in their personal life. And I'm not doing anything necessarily criminal. All I'm doing is trying to speak my mind and quote unquote defend myself. But to go back to what Dex was saying earlier about, you know, him, you know, setting up other avenues to perform on that night, it's like his voice gonna be heard no matter what, and now has more ammo to go go with what he's been saying on how people have just been trying to censor him, especially in this situation regarding you know, he uses a black father. Like, look how far they're going, is like not letting me do certain things where I can't even perform at the Grammy. So if he does decide to put on that concert that same night, oh, we're definitely going to get a rant. Like, that's not stopping anything.
I don't even know if we'll get a rant more than we'll just get something from Kanye. Like, you know, the day or whatever he was taken off the IG and he went to the Warriors game with his son, one of his sons. And then they showed, like, on social media, Kanye just showed up in the middle of Palo Alto somewhere on this campus and just started, like, doing his Kanye, chilling, let all these people just take pictures.
Right.
So what did you see the next day? Like, oh my God, Kanye was just standing on the corner. Oh my God, he got them black Yeezys on. When they coming out? Like,
right.
You took him off of social media. He showed up out of nowhere and still created a buzz and never said a word. Never said, people was asking him to smile. They were saying stuff at him. He was turning to the cameras, never said one word. Like, so he's still going to make it known on Grammy night. We're going to hear about Kanye.
I will say, you know, I think that this has added ammo to just like how our community kind of sometimes feels disenfranchised by the Grammys. And now I'm starting to see like, oh, The Weeknd, Kanye, let's all get together and, you know, ban against the Grammys. And that really bothers me because at the end of the day, the Grammys are a prestigious organization. They're supposed to be the gatekeepers of, of rewarding excellent artistry and music, and that goes for something. People live to be EGOTs, they want to win an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, a Tony. So it's like, these institutions are there, and they are credible. They are important, I mean, Jay-Z has what, 22 Grammys or something like that. That's something that he brags about, like that's something that he's accomplished that no one else has accomplished. It just bothers me how, like, I wish they had more voices in the room. That's what I think is going on here when they're making certain decisions, so that they don't, alienate or disenfranchise certain communities. I'm wondering who made the decision to pull Kanye, and was anybody there like, hey guys,
had a good idea.
Is this really a reason to censor an artist? Is this the reason? And where in the bylaws does it say that this is
the bylaws?
I don't.
She's saying in the Grammy bylaws, like,
there has to be bylaws. Like, every organization has bylaws, like how this is how we operate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like that's really the disappointing part, because I feel bad that our community sometimes writes off such a prestigious, award that people are honored to receive.
What happens if he wins all 5 that night?
Like, I don't
know. But I'm just saying, how does that look for the Grammys if he then wins all 5 that night? Because they've already voted, they're already in. It's like, So he's such a great artist, he could win these Grammys, but he couldn't perform here tonight because of online. But I do want to say, Trevor Noah and him kind of trying to stand up for him, I thought that was big, because I probably wouldn't be nice if
Trevor should have started. Trevor should have started it in the first place.
I'm saying, I probably wouldn't be nice first. Talking about me online, but I think he tried to stand in too. Like, hey, like, we might have went in this back and forth, but like, don't cancel him. Like that's not what's up. What's up? Whatever, Dex. That's why I sent you that meme earlier.
My post. So let's talk about Rihanna. Because is she engaged? I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised, but she keeps flashing this ring, and it's a big rock, and she wears it on different fingers, and I think she's wearing it on different fingers to throw us off. Right. But like, there's one, she did like a Fenty event, and there's a girl on TikTok. She's really annoying, but she's really entertaining at the same time. She does makeup, and the girl is like asking her questions, and she purposely went out of her way to like flash her ring. I think this is the obvious thing to do, and I want Rihanna to be engaged. I think that they make such a beautiful couple, her and A$AP Rocky.
Yeah, I think they definitely engaged. When it came out that she was pregnant, none of us believed it. Whoever was the first person to say it, we didn't believe it. And then we saw it months later. I think it's going to be the same with their engagement and marriage. It's like, they just don't want us to know yet. So,
or she may already be married.
Ooh, now that one is even better, Jack.
Yeah.
I hope not. I want to see her wedding. Can you live stream?
She might give us the pictures later.
Because you know what's crazy? I sometimes I think about this, like the fact that we never saw Beyonce's wedding. Like, we never saw. Right. We saw that she did like a video and she showed us something decades later, but like, it just happened and we never saw it.
Yeah, it definitely just happened.
Yeah, and I kind of think it's cool. Even Cardi B, remember, like, we never saw her wedding. Like, they got married and we never saw it. Like, this is kind of like, celebrities are like doing this now, and I kind of like it.
I mean, that's just kind of getting back to normal. We shouldn't be seeing these people's wedding anyway. Like, I
want to see the wedding. What are we eating at Beyonce's wedding? I want to know.
You take it too far.
This wasn't like a normal thing up until a certain point, right? So
that's not true. We've always seen what you saw my wedding. Like, you see people's wedding.
No, not celebrities.
Right. I'm talking about celebrity weddings. So like the one that I can think back to, right, is when Kim Kardashian was like, "Oh, I can go and get $30 million for a wedding." Okay, you got to do this.
It was before. Kim was the first to do this. Star Jones, if anybody, Star Jones might have been the first
did do it.
This has always been a thing. And no, we didn't see celebrity weddings on Instagram because it wasn't out or whatever. But the magazines always
I was gonna say people always had an exclusive photo because they had Brad and Jen when they got married.
Yeah.
They always had like an exclusive photo.
No, we didn't know the ins and outs like we do now. Like now we know what's on the menu.
Yes, no, it might have been like guest said there was a pass or dirt, but it wasn't like we was in there, we heard the music and we seen the other celebrities like
right, or it wasn't like they served chicken cordon bleu for appetizer. Like
now that's too much though. Like I don't think we need to know that about nobody's wedding, but we definitely be seeing people's vows and stuff like that, which I think is so excessive and like ridiculous. Like that should not be on the internet.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if they are married, good for them. The fact that man, everything not for everybody, and if they are able to keep that a secret for however long possible that they can, that's just to make sure that their footing is right. These celebrities, it's good to have something to yourself. Even if it's for a short amount of time, right? Because they give us everything, whether it's in music, whether it's in an interview. People ask so many, invasive questions. They don't give people privacy on the streets. When they pull up in their trucks, it's literally people at the trucks with the camera, like trying to peek into the
but that's a hard one though, because I do agree that it's nice for these people to have their privacy, but at the same time though, like a lot, it's a double-edged sword because a lot of them like the attention too. Like a lot of them want that and they put that out there. Now I will say I know this ex of Rihanna's baby, she's having a girl, like you heard it here first, but I mean, so they don't have that anymore, but like it's just, I don't know, like we're excited about your situation in your life, like it is what it is at this point.
I just wanted to see the live stream from Barbados. That's what I wanted. And now, live from the island of Barbados.
That's why they're not telling us.
Listen, if you haven't saw already, they gonna be right in Harlem with it. What are you talking about? They get married on the Harlem streets.
No, I think she would get married in Barbados. I really think she would, and I would want to see it on Facebook Live.
How many bridesmaids, Mina? Because you got the details. How many bridesmaids you think?
Rihanna is gonna say, "Fuck these hoes."
Yes, no bridesmaids.
No bridesmaids.
Maybe her with her two nieces or whatever. Yeah. Maybe them, but that's it.
She's not gonna have no celebrities, like no one. It's gonna be like her, that, like, to your point, Shana, her nieces, and that's it.
Do her best friends still be with her? Because we'll never hear about her no more.
And then A$AP Rocky's gonna have the whole mob, the A$AP Rocky mob, the A$AP mob next to him. Imagine Rihanna. Oh my God. Imagine Rihanna like mobbing with the A$AP mob. Like, I'm here for it, man.
No, it's glowing. I ain't never seen nothing like it.
I'm here for it. All right, let's talk real quickly about the things you would pay for, right? So there was like a variety of things that happened lately that I'm like, that's kind of odd. Someone DM'd me and said that they would offer me $600 a month and they would be my sugar dad just so I can talk to them. And I'm like, did you read my profile? Did you see who I am? Why are you offering me this in a DM? So I'm like, what lonely ass, he's a white man. What lonely ass sick white man is looking for little, young Spanish girls to give $600 to a month? And he was like, no sex is required. He like laid out my contract, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not making this up. I screenshotted it, right?
They believe you. They out here.
No, but it was, I've never been proposed to be on a retainer to have a conversation with a white man for $600 a month.
But when do you start?
I don't start. That's
send him my way.
Right, you can send it this way.
I'll talk to you, buddy.
Because I got a DM like that, but I don't think he offered me 6. He only offered me 3. I was contemplating.
So it's like, okay. But then, so there was that. And then this story came out this week about Little Baby allegedly having sex with Chief Keef's baby mom. And she did like a whole video and she said, I've been doing this for 6 years. There's rules to this. First, you pay for the act, then you pay for the hush. So it's like 2 separate fees, right? So I couldn't believe this girl's literally admitting she's a prostitute on social media, which I'm like, you're stupid. But then I'm like, yo, I mean, I've never heard, there's an unspoken contract here. Like, you have to pay for the sex and then pay for me to shut up. And since Lil Baby didn't want to pay the hush money, this girl went on social media and blasted him. So it's like, okay, Lil Baby doesn't need to pay for sex, but if he is paying for sex, I wonder why. Like, why would someone pay for sex?
And also, halfway do it. Why would you, if you pay for the sex, why would you not pay for the? I don't get that.
I guess maybe he thought, according to her, he thought that the money that he paid was everything
for
together.
Everything. It was a full package.
Right. And then afterwards, she was like, well, where's the rest of the money? He probably felt like she was trying to extort him. Like, we agreed on this money and now you're trying to get more money. So it's like, he has a girlfriend. He doesn't need to pay for sex. Now he no longer has a girlfriend, but it's like, why would people pay for this stuff? And that's why I wanted to have this conversation. Like, it's not even just sex. If you're talking about sex, you're talking about companionship, right? This guy said, no sex. I just want to talk to you, right? Companionship, people paying for love. How many people are out there, like, literally supporting someone else and paying all their bills? And, you're paying for someone to be with you. You're paying for love. Like, would you pay for love, sex, friendship, attention? Like, this is what OnlyFans is, right? Would you pay for these things that you desire?
Well, first of all, Lil Baby's case, the men been doing it for years. That's why they pay for it, like, because of discretion. Like, there's a whole business. I've spent a lot of time in Vegas. I don't know names, but I know a lot of very rich, famous rappers, athletes. They pay for it, and I was confused at first too. Like, you could get this for free from girls. Like, any girl be willing to, but that's the whole point, is discretion. Like, they just don't want their business all over the place. So most of these girls, and they feel like the money is nothing to them. So most of it is like, I know she a bad chick because such and such and such and such and such and such then slept with her, and I could just pay her this, and I don't have to hear about it in the blogs. Yeah. I don't have to see, a picture of me in the bed in the blogs. Like, so a lot of them, it really is the discretion part. I think it's disgusting, because it's just prostitution, which is why you see so many guys with the same girl, because some of them then fall in love with them, which is a whole nother story. But I think that people, and just to your point, even with that man companionship, a lot of it is discretion. And a lot of times people are embarrassed that they need these things, and they may be powerful men or women, because I'm sure women do it, and just don't want people to know. Because there was a girl in the New York Times article that makes $30,000 a month, and she doesn't use her degree. It started off with one client. She basically said some guy, she met him, and he was like, would you like perform, what's it called, SMS for me, and just call me and talk mean to me, cuss at me, yell at me. She started with him. He started giving her referral out. This chick she said, I don't go into an office. I just call them sometimes, cuss them out. I'll meet them at hotels sometimes to beat them. $30,000 a month. I was like, where can I do this? I can do that. I can call you and cuss you out at the end of your day. Done. Sign me up. But they want to be treated like babies.
Mm. I it's weird. I just feel like I'm I'm not really a judgmental person at all when it comes to this stuff. Like, I'm open to all of it. Like, if I knew, yeah. Like for instance, I feel like I've done it all. Honestly, I feel like not exactly how these people are doing it, but it's like, as far as like paying for attention. Like, you think about it. You go to these like places with the pop-ups and stuff like that, and you're taking a picture in front of this scenery or whatever, or the concert, and you go to the concert, you're on the floor, and you make sure you get a picture on that floor. Like, you paid for the entertainment, but you don't take the picture for the entertainment. You took that picture because for me, like, I wanted the attention. I wanted people to know this is where I'm at. This is what I paid for, like that flex, whatever. And you pay for that. Like, you put your money out because that's what you wanted. As far as sex, like, I've paid for a Playboy magazine before, so I guess that's kind of the equivalent of that. And then love, I mean, I be paying on my bills, so like, and I live by myself. So like, I don't know. I just feel like we all do it. I just think some people take it a little extreme. Like, I'm not paying no woman to have sex with her, discretion or not. I'm just not gonna do that. Put my bit. If I have sex with you and you put it out there, you just gonna put it out there. I don't care. Like, it is what it is. But yeah, I don't got no issue with it. I think it's.
You care if your wife's gonna find out. You care.
I mean, you.
Oh my God.
It's like one of those things, like,
I've never seen this moment ever.
because it's kind of like, if you do it, no, I mean, look, I don't pay for sex, so I ain't got to worry about that. That's nasty. I changed my mind.
Yeah, but it's not sex. I wanted to make it a bigger thing, Dexter. Like, say
OnlyFans and stuff.
Yeah, like, say you're not getting something that you want or you need, like, say you want a woman to strip for you and your wife won't, that's not technically cheating, but you can technically go online and pay for some girl to take her clothes off, and you're like,
I mean, and we go to strip clubs and like they do like the lap dance and stuff like that. And we pay for that. So that's essentially.
So you would pay for.
I would never pay for no lap dance or no strip. I don't do that. I would pay for OnlyFans before I pay for a stripper and a lap dance. I think that is. Because like, this is one thing I never understood. Like, I think it's cool to go with your friends or whatever to a strip club and just like, whatever. I think that's fun. It's cool or whatever. But to pay for someone, you're gonna wear jeans to the strip club. So to pay for someone to grind a mustache on your jeans, what's the point of, like, I don't get it. Like, it's silly to me. Don't y'all think so? Garnett, what you think? You like
Garnett's definitely paid for all kinds of things.
I mean, listen, I'm willing under some circumstances. it depends what it is. To go to what y'all said, I really feel like it's being able to, when you pay for things, you're able to control expectations a little bit. As also, there's a void there as well. So, little baby, him having a girlfriend, right? She may not be doing certain things that he hears some of these women are doing. So it's like, oh, well, okay, my girlfriend maybe isn't into this. Maybe she's not into having threesomes, but I know these girls are. So I'll go and pay for that. In his head, it really ain't cheating. I'm going to go make it happen. But even, with the guy that, wants to be technically, a sugar daddy and not want to have any intercourse or anything like that. It's like, well, he's missing a companion. He wants to be talked to. He's lonely, and he's willing to pay for it because now, I can control the expectations a little bit. If I'm paying you X amount of money, then I can expect you to talk to me this amount, this much time. And then eventually, maybe we can become cool. I'm probably not going to stop paying you, right? But, it's paying for the friendship. I really feel like this happens more often than not, especially for men. And I think some women actually is kind of cool with it in a sense. So I was talking to one of my friends and, he's like so gung-ho on like, he wants to make a certain amount of money basically so he can like tell his girl not to work. And, he can kind of like, in my head, marginalize her and like not do anything. I'm like, bro, you setting yourself up for a woman not to love you at all. Like, what's the point of that? Like, I get it, understand it, but realize what you're setting yourself up for. That means she's not, most of the time, she's not going to be there for you. She's only there because of what you can provide for her. So don't like turn around and then bash her when she wants half because she never really messed with you like that in the first place. So some of our relationships, I feel like some people actually would rather that. To talk about the little baby thing again, or just the athletes or the rappers, I feel like they're going about it the wrong way too. It's like, yeah, you shouldn't have to pay for no hush, right? If you hand out that NDA first, like that should be the very first thing. You should be controlling the situation regardless. You're the one with the money. This woman has absolutely nothing but this vagina. So
speaking of that, I think that right there is it. Because remember Stormy Daniels spoke up against Donald Trump? They just hit her and they said, you got to pay back all that money. I think it's like $300,000 she has to pay back to Donald Trump. So
off at the knees. Yep.
I wouldn't pay no additional money. Sign the NDA. And if you speak, you run your mouth about this, you owe me.
But let's be clear, Stormy Daniels did get paid. To Garnett's point, people do have NDAs, but most of the women are getting paid with the NDA. Little baby didn't get the NDA part.
Yeah, but my whole thing is, even that, I don't, some of these street guys, like, they're so anti-law, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, anti-system. Like picture them handing a contract out. That's probably even like, like against certain things that they believe in. I just don't see Lil Baby saying, hey, here's the contract, sign this. It's the smart thing to do, right? But I think that I can see 50 Cent and Diddy and Jay-Z and those kinds of right doing it. I don't see Little Dirt, Lil Baby, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't see them doing that at this point in their career. I feel like that's something that you kind of, when you become like a mogul, and you grow into that. Like I can't let these things get in the way of my business. Let me control this is a business. This is part of the business. You're creating a business deal. Let me get it all in writing.
Athletes do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's like I see the established athletes doing it. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. The big
Tristan Thompson ain't doing it.
Tristan Thompson ain't learned that part. They need to have a class at Clutch Sports to teach him that part.
His problem is he get caught with him on the way to the act. Like it's not even that they speaking. He's out
on camera. But Garnett, I wanted to say, and you always have a good point. Like when I was saying discretion, I think that's the bigger part is the expectations, because that's what I've heard from one of the guys is she's not going to tell if she don't want to be with me. Like I'm not going to have a clinger because she know I got a girl, I'm in town. Like it's a hit it and quit it situation. And so you're so right with that. Like they can control the situation a little bit more.
Shana, we got to talk.
That is right. I'm just saying he was right on that point.
I'm into it. I'm just saying, like you.
Shana done buried some bodies for these ball players.
Yes.
I mean, again, it was a phenomenon that I was shocked by. I still don't understand it.
What in the phenomenon?
Listen, Chief Keef baby mom, I don't know if she went into details, but these people pay these girls a lot of money. Like they're getting paid. There's a reason why people are on Instagram half naked, because they're trying to get they trying to promote themselves and market themselves so they can get on these type deals too. And because they heard about them, like they are giving these girls money. I'm sure Lil Baby did not give her a little bit of money, which is why, to your point, Nina, he thought that was the deal paid in full because it was probably a substantial amount. We ain't talking about no 350, they're giving these girls thousands and thousands.
Yeah,
like one night.
This is just disgusting though. Like if this is what you're gonna choose to do with your life, then that's on you. But girl, shut the hell up. Like you literally went on social media and say, I've been doing this for 6 years and there's rules. Girl, you're a whole prostitute.
And guess what, Mina? A whole bunch of rappers was in her DM.
Yeah, she's Chief Keef's baby mom.
Yeah, but it's weird though, because right now, like the fact that she's putting this out there, you would think like, oh, you just messed up your situation or whatever.
No.
But I think what Shana is saying is that you put that out there, the blogs then pick it up and they put you out there, and all these people are going to start flocking to this girl now. It's insane to know that her business is about to pick up.
She got free marketing.
Yeah, and she's a pretty girl, but it's like, girl.
The person that's at loss is Chief Keef and that baby, because imagine being Chief Keef that everybody is messing with your baby.
And then the other baby mom came out and said she dealing with Lil Baby too. Like, it's just like, I mean, if this is how you make your money, that's on you. But girl, I have a little dignity and not put on social media that you're a prostitute.
Sex worker is the new term.
Another thing I just
She's a prostitute and a sex worker and all of the above. Okay.
Another thing I thought about too, I guess that go in favor on why these guys may want to do things like that is because, maybe they don't have to worry about being in court the next day for falsely being accused of something as well, because they already know the game. So maybe, they'll take the dice rolling. Hey, listen, I'd rather be on a blog for this than be on a blog and be in somebody's courtroom trying to defend myself. Because you're upset at me because I just hit it and quit it. So
yeah, but like I think I would have more respect. Like Corinne Steffens, Superhead, the original OG, she wrote a book. She made money off of this. Like
after it was done. Like
right, these girls are literally like living this life talking about there's rules on Instagram. Like, girl, shut up.
She wasn't doing this in the Instagram phase though. Let's
right.
Yeah, but the point is like she was done with it, or at least appeared to be done with it when she put it out there.
Wasn't done with it.
I'm just saying, like that's how she presented it. But these girls are like actively taking. She has a client tonight. Like you have a client tonight, and you're actively putting the business out. Why do you have that? And she's
the original OG Corinne Steffens, The Chronicles of a Video Vixen. I read her book.
I actually
read it too.
It was good. This.
What year did they come out?
When did this come out?
Oh, how many years ago was
First of all, it's a New York Times bestseller, so I can.
Everybody was reading it.
We're messy people. That's why.
That was before Instagram, and it was like the blogs were as good. We couldn't get all the names. We had to get the book for the names.
Yeah, she got it all out in that book.
Yeah, she called out Shaq. Everybody. I was like, ooh.
Never read it. I just watched her like Vlad TV interview.
Okay, let me read to you an excerpt. Glass vases filled with marbles crashed all around as he begun tossing linens from the bed. As the marbles shattered, we laughed in unison. I remember the exact moment that I first laid on my back for him. My legs were wrapped around his waist, and just before his body was to merge with mine, I noticed his upper right chest. On it was a tattoo with the words, "Pain is love."
Jaru.
Who is this man?
It's the rule.
Speaking of which,
this one was the best.
And not trying to put Drake out there, but his baby mom was one that guys paid to play with. Because I remember when it came out there, who we had a baby with, they were like, "Oh, she's been seen with this star, this artist, this billionaire guy, this." So she was on that circuit as well. He just was happened to slip up, but she clearly was on that circuit of highly successful men, and she still ain't talking to this day. Now I'm sure Drake got an NDA now, but I'm saying the way her business was set up, we never even heard about it. We would never have even known she was tied to so many men.
Oh yeah, she got that her pension now. It's over.
Pension, a retirement fund, 401k.
Man, she's set for life. She hit the jackpot.
Yeah. I mean, clearly she knows how to move. These other, I can't.
Right, and when you look at her again, no offense, I just don't think she's the prettiest thing. But clearly,
she's pretty. No, she's very pretty.
She's the prettiest thing. But I'm saying clearly, she got something that people want.
She knows how to move, and so does Drake. Now he puts hot sauce in the condoms now, which is a smart idea.
Okay, this went left. All right, guys.
Me up.
So what's the consensus? Will you pay? Yes or no? Pay to play?
No. But if that guy was in Mina DMs when it happened mine,
why is Garnett?
I'm paying, baby. I am paying.
When the money get right, I'm gonna get around. Why?
Dex is gonna be handing out NDAs. You get in trouble after this podcast.
Yes, you are.
Well, wait, it drops tomorrow, so Friday it won't be. Friday will be wild.
Better make sure she don't listen to this one. Tell her we were off because I went to Greece.
Yeah, it wasn't a good episode. Don't listen to it.
All right, that's the 216th episode of the Mina's House podcast. I'm Mina SayWhat.
I'm Shana B.
Garnett.